what we've seen in the past 5 to 10 years since the advent of social media, when millions of people have access to publishing, to online conversation, amazing transformations are possible.
I think we have a lot of innovative people and innovative minds and a lot of talent in Vancouver.
Social media has elected and overthrown governments around the world.
We have a really entrepreneurial spirit in this town.
My interest in social media was, how do you make money from this?
I write the Digital Life column in the Vancouver Sun, and when I started, technology and the digital world were something that were sort of outside of the mainstream.
Vancouver is hardwired for social media because we have that connection of technology, interesting stories to tell, but a vibrant arts and a creative culture.
Flickr certainly put Vancouver on the world stage. Embraced by bloggers, which is a huge component of Vancouver's kind of social media scene, acquired by Yahoo and went international.
When I saw Flickr, which came out of Vancouver, when I saw the central context was sharing, things like tagging, things like commenting, everything was built to be shared, it was a revolutionary point for me.
The most exciting thing about the history of social media in Vancouver, it has grown totally organically and driven by people who are inspired by the very first purpose in social media, which is to connect people.
I'm Dave Olson, and I'm the Vice President of Community at HootSuite.
I'm Alexandra Samuel, and I'm the Director of the Social and Interactive Media Center here at Emily Carr University.
My name's Ryan Holmes. I'm the CEO of HootSuite.
I'm the mayor. Me, Mayor John Chow. Most people know me as the blogger who makes money online by telling people how much money he makes online.
And all of a sudden, over this time, and particularly with social media and life moving online, maybe it shouldn't be called digital life anymore because it's now everyone's life. Yes, I think I remember Ryan coming to an event on his bike, the CEO of what would become a really successful company. But that is Ryan. It's part of the charm, but also it speaks a lot to the way social media has grown up in this city. It grew organically. It didn't have big marketing dollars. It didn't have advertising. Then HootSuite, it kind of typifies that approach.
HootSuite is a product founded out of Vancouver in December of 2008, and it came out of an agency that I founded in 2000 called Invoke. We were managing other clients' accounts and our own personal accounts, social media accounts. We had a need for a better tool, and so HootSuite was really the response to that.
HootSuite is a web-based tool. You can kind of think of it as a social media Swiss Army knife. We take all these different services, Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and Flickr and all these different brands, and we put them all into one tool so you can log into a website from any computer and have the same data presented to you wherever you are. And also it exists in the same way on a mobile platform, so it allows folks like me who are doing social media for any kind of organization to have everything consolidated into one place.
I have been to Emily Carr and seen some of their work firsthand. And what I find is so amazing about what Alexandra is doing, what the university is doing, is making that connection between companies and the academic world.
The Social and Interactive Media Center is a center for applied research where companies in BC and the rest of Canada can partner with Emily Carr faculty members and students to tackle different kinds of challenges around design, innovation, new media, in a way that they just wouldn't be able to do without the creative thinking, the skills, the talents, and some of the technology we have here at Emily Carr.
Well, right now we're working on a couple of projects, and one of which is this amazing collaboration with Vision Critical, which is one of the world's leading market research software companies. And they're based here in Vancouver. They do business all over the world with F1000 companies. So what we've been doing with them is large-scale research on social media that helps identify some of the missing pieces of information about people who are on social media but not so visible with analytics because they're viewing more than they're sharing. And what we're discovering through Vision Critical's surveys is a whole new facet of social media behavior that we're helping to bring to life with a series of infographics that are being created by 3 different classes here at Emily Carr.
some might call John opportunistic. He is certainly opportunistic because he has taken blogging, social media, all these tools and turned them into a money-making proposition at a time when a lot of other companies are struggling with that whole question. How do you make money on social media?
I have created, over the last several months, over 100 how-to videos on how to blog. So they range from how to register a domain name, to how to write a blog post, how to update the blog, how to do SEO. Normally it costs $97, but until this Sunday, it's $67. But because you're all here, I'm giving everyone, it's free, everybody. When you go to my blog, you'll see ads from various advertisers. They represent 1/3 of the income. The other 2/3 of the income comes from affiliate marketing and my own product sales. JohnChow.com is the 7,000th biggest site on the internet. And considering there's like hundreds of millions of sites out there, it's in the top 0.001%, I believe. Traffic-wise, we get over 200,000 daily readers and followers. The bigger my audience, the more money I can charge for advertising, the more people I can refer to affiliate programs. That's how the blog makes money.
It's really important to think intentionally about the role you want social media to play for your kids, how you want them to learn how to use it, because the reality is that by the time they're teenagers, it's going to be a huge part of their lives. You know, I look at things like Facebook and, you know, the age Mark Zuckerberg was when he created it, or, you know, more recent successes, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, the successes of social media are driven by very young people because you actually have a pretty brief window when you are old enough to create something and young enough to be of the zeitgeist you are creating your tools for. And so I really see our job as parents is to help our kids develop the skills, the aptitude, the understanding of social media that will allow them to launch into that world of opportunity in their, you know, late teens and early 20s.
Really, the question is going to be, how do you tell that story in a way that's visually interesting? And, you know, you're going to see the problems we've got for you are extremely varied. I'm a big social media nerd, and I have spent, 15 years studying this space in different form. And, you know, usually when I'm looking at questions I have about social media, I'm lucky if I can find a really crappy 1,500 person study that was just done by people self-enrolling or taking some Twitter poll. I mean, it's really, really hard to get access to good, solid scientific data about social media usage.
We actually talked to about 80,000 people about their social media usage habits, and we think this is one of the largest surveys ever done on the topic. And what we're trying to get to is get to a deeper understanding about how people use social media.
I suggested that the work we're doing here at Emily Carr might be a way for Vision Critical to dig into social media, answer some of the questions they've been asking about how it fits into the broader picture of market research, and answer it in a way that is really visually engaging.
Vision Critical is, you can think of it as a next generation market research company. We build software tools. The most common use case is surveys.
So we jointly developed a survey asking all sorts of questions about Facebook and Twitter usage patterns, blog usage patterns, other social media tools. And Vision Critical deployed that survey to 80,000 people.
But I have a feeling that the story that people are going to be interested in is lurkers versus sharers.
As far as we can tell, it's the largest survey that's ever been done of social media usage. 80,000 people telling you how often they log into Twitter and Facebook is kind of mind-blowing.
You know, the Facebook lurkers are actually the opposite, right? The lurking goes, which again, it's more, lurking is the opposite of sharing, right?
HootSuite is a dashboard that helps people manage social media channels like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google+. HootSuite has grown very rapidly in terms of users. Our first million users took 2 years to acquire. We gained our second million users in 8 months and our third million users in 6 months, and we're looking at hitting 6 million by the end of this year.
And there's some tattoos and stickers and other paraphernalia. Yeah, nice. My goal is to build a $1 billion company where everybody on the team has an exit and at some point sees a significant financial upside where they're financially independent, and then out of that, ultimately to have an ecosystem in Vancouver and Canada where these people, these smart folks, again, reinvest in other startups or create their own startup projects out of this.
How did I start at HootSuite? Well, I first started using HootSuite as a practitioner, a social media practitioner with a different company in town. In the very early days, I think I was number 125 on the signups. Very early January of 2010, I sat down with Ryan over breakfast. The company was still primarily developers and still being run out of an agency setting. And Ryan needed someone to kind of come up put some meaning behind the brand and put a lot of programs and processes in place.
Vancouver's been very strategic for us. When we look at other markets, very competitive engineering markets like San Francisco or sales markets like New York, we've been able to access an amazing talent pool here in Vancouver and have been able to really grow up our company very rapidly. Last year we went from 25 to 100 people, and this year we're looking at growing from 100 to 250. And we're very optimistic that we're going to be able to find those people in Vancouver.
So here we are, the HootSuite bunker. And this is, for me, this is about as intense as it gets throughout the year. I'm about 30 hours away from getting on the plane to South by Southwest. This is by far the biggest year for us.
Our goals and ambitions for South by Southwest are pretty big. Last year we were the number 5 most mentioned brand. This year we're looking to continue the success.
We want to dominate the Twitter stream around South by, and we've really emphasized all our campaigns to make sure that they're retweetable and shareable on the social web, because that's our native space. We also want to make sure that we end up as one of those buzz brands that everyone's talking about when they go home.
This year we're sending a big team to South by Southwest. We have over 12 people going, and my director of community, Dave Olson, is heading up this group.
So South by Southwest is a huge deal for our industry. I like to say it's like the Holy Week of our industry because it's jam-packed with all these people that you want to meet, whether they're your customers or potential partners or collaborators, but everyone congregates in this city, so it's a great place to launch a brand, or even in our case, to amplify our brand and really take it to the next level. Right now, if it happens after South by, it ain't even on my calendar. So I've never met these dudes that are making it, but I think they're about as excited to show it to us as I am to see it. And but I just saw them. I imagine they're going to do a little circuit, a loop, but it'll be pretty hard to miss because it's a giant owl on a bus. Oh, he's parked it. They parked it right over there. Well, hello, genies. Fantastic, you guys.
How are you? Kevin, nice to meet you.
You as well. I can't believe it, dude.
We are at .com Fair. .com Fair is a place where we had music cups. My dad shows up the graduate of the week. He does the show off.
.com Go started a long time ago. Every week we just have people get together and just talk about social media events, making money online, that kind of stuff. Started originally in Vancouver, but today there are chapters in Seattle as well as a chapter I started here in Orange County. And currently the chapter in Orange County is the biggest of all the events.
I was convinced there was going to be like 1,000 people here, and so it's. Look, we're popular. We're not that popular. Is it weird that you guys are filming each other?
Yes.
Yeah. So here comes. Well, the CBC crew is actually bigger than I thought.
Hello. Hello. Guy. Oh, you okay, kiddo? How's everybody? Ready for some fun today? Are you guys all gonna blog about this?
If anybody's uncomfortable with being on camera, just let me know and I won't film you.
If you're coming to .com.fo, be prepared to be on the internet and realize that the internet's forever.
What we do here at .com.fo is we gather and we share ideas. It's something that me, John Chow, and our friend Carl Nelson thought up maybe about 10 years ago.
Those guys come here every week. I would say that John Chow is unemployable, and that actually is his own words. He does what he wants to do, and that's the end of the story.
John is really good at making money.
Yeah, he have a book too, good book. 1 minute, I show you the book. Okay? Yeah, this book from John, very good book. Okay, if you want to be a millionaire, how make the money from John? And I sell a book for him, very good one.
John Chow is a relentless self-marketer, hugely successful, and all on social media.
People complain about me. They say I don't wear business suits or whatever. My thing on that is, well, you pay for your clothes. I get paid to wear mine. I have two types of t-shirts that I wear. The t-shirt that promote myself, and then the sponsored t-shirt that companies pay me to wear. Okay? So today I'm wearing a sponsored t-shirt. Plenty of Fish is the world's biggest dating site. Started by Marcus Fine in Vancouver. He started the company so we can learn ASP programming, and it just evolved into the biggest dating site in the world. They get over 2 billion page views a week. The site is humongous, and Marcus is a testament to how far someone can take a single idea on the internet and just explode with it.
Just do what John does and think right.
Just picked up new batch of HootSuite t-shirts for South by Southwest. Looking great, but will they fly? Hashtag HootSouthBy, hashtag yes, hashtag HootCannon. So today's kind of the calm before the storm. It was all about the checklist. So first of all, it was the swag. We got playing cards arrived, coasters arrived, scarves arrived, box after box after box of these things. Then we rallied up and went and picked up t-shirts that we have printed locally. And then we went and checked into the house. Voila. Oh, my foot. Well, I'll give you the short version, which is Robbie Burns night, my favorite pub, and rushing out to catch the last passenger ferry, the last sea bus. With it, I got 6 weeks of penalty and pain. So next, we're gonna go back to the airport to pick up the boss. It wasn't just a dream last night. This thing really does exist.
Oh, it is a thing of beauty! Ah!
When my wife and I were having our kid, one of the first things I did before we named her, I made sure her domain name was available.
www.chuchow.
And so I gave my wife a list of names, and she asked me how I came up with these names, and I said, well, they're popular, I like them, and also the domain name was available. Her blog was started 3 months before she was born. The first blog post was a picture of an ultrasound, and the title says, I'll be live soon. While most people get a good chuckle out of my story about, Sally's blog and stuff, there was a reason for it. I'm big on personal branding because johnchow.com is a brand. And so I felt that for Sally, she should definitely own her own domain name. So it's been consistently making anywhere from $100 to $20 every single month for me. johnchow.com started as a personal blog to update my friends and family. Gradually, the blog post shifted from what was happening in my life to how I go about making money from the internet. One day I get an email from a reader who basically said that, you talk a great talk about making money by blogging, but your blog makes no money. So why should I listen to you? I decided to turn my blog into an income case study. And every month I would post how much money the blog make. This way I would prove that you can make money by blogging. The goal of the case study was to make full-time income with part-time blogging. And I defined full-time income as $3,000 per month and part-time blogging as 2 hours per day, which was how much time I spent updating my blog back then. Because now, as long as I spend less than 40 cents to get a visitor to the blog or to get a visitor to that site, I'm in the money.
So this is the difference between a lot of people and John. Seriously, what I hear him saying is he's actually got a business strategy around his social networking.
In the first month, it made about $352. And then 4 months after that, it hit the $3,000 per month goal. After that, instead of shutting down the case study, I decided to let's pull out all the stops and see what happens if we really try to make money by blogging. So the case study continued, and basically within 2 years, the blog's income was up to about $40,000 per month.
Spring, guys, I'm going to ask you guys a favor. Do you think that for this morning you can call each other Peanut and Sweetie?
You know, I'm a huge worrier. I really do go through apocalyptic anxieties about climate change, about peak oil, about just the economic strains that we see around the world, and I worry about our capacity as a species to confront and overcome those challenges in a way that is actually sustainable environmentally and socially. And when I look at the scale of problems that we've got in the world, the one thing that gives me hope is that the internet has also enabled a level of conversation and collective intelligence that we've never had before. And so if we have a shot at dealing with these problems, then it is through these conversations that allow us to share our knowledge and our thinking and allow innovations to diffuse really quickly. So I can't imagine, frankly, working in any other field because I feel like this is where we are seeing the hope for the human race, literally. There's a very large number of people on Facebook who are logging onto Facebook several times a week, and in many cases several times a day, but hardly posting at all. What social media researchers will term lurkers. Lurkers and sharers are really different. Obviously, when you appeal to sharers, hopefully they're going to share your stuff, but you need to make sure that when they share it, the lurkers who see it are also receptive to that message. And given how different sharers and lurkers are, we need that information about the lurkers to help us craft the right message.
What we're trying to help people understand is, how are they different? How are Facebook sharers different from Facebook lurkers? How are Twitter sharers different from Twitter lurkers? And how are Facebook users different from Twitter users?
So since we kicked the project off a couple weeks ago, this is our first time back at Emily Carr to check on the status of the Vision Critical Infographic project. We're very happy with what we've seen so far. We're getting good questions. The students are getting real grasp of what we're looking for. They've got some great creative ideas of how to represent the data that we've shared with them. And I think they're getting great exposure to what some real life scenarios would be and why people would want to see information presented in new and different ways.
Well, it was really fun to see Gord working with our students for the first time, because if there's one thing I've seen in working at Emily Carr for 2.5 years, it's that students always come up with way more inventive ways to represent things visually than I could ever imagine. The hope is that those qualities of inventiveness are going to make this data shareable and interesting in social media terms in ways that, a pie chart might not be.
For age groups, it's so hard to tell the difference because we have like 6 different age groups.
So day one, it's amazing. We are trolling around the Austin Convention Center right now. We're turning a lot of heads. It's unfortunately raining a little bit.
It's not all fun loving here at South by. I'm about an hour and a half away from my talk, and it's a little intense for me. It's exciting, but you got to have your game on, that's for sure. The panels or presentations are a really big part of it. They get tens of thousands of submissions, and that gets whittled down through a combination of audience voting, and they have a juried panel to choose. Well, I guess it's a couple thousand that they have now. It's a pretty big deal to get your panel or presentation accepted. I'm going to talk about some HootSuite things, but I'm also going to talk about some other projects that all go into what makes me the guy who does this for HootSuite.
All right, so the first project I'm going to talk to you about is the True North Media House. Now, I don't know if any of you Americans heard, but a couple of years ago in Vancouver, we did an Olympics up there. It was winter time. My name's Dave Olson. I work for HootSuite out of Vancouver, Canada, and I just finished a talk here at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas about crowdsourcing projects like Tom Sawyer. This third one is the HootSuite translation project. We realized that a traditional translation service wasn't going to be a good idea for us. So we spent our time doing a couple things, outreaching to the community and trying to find people who were going to help us out with this. We went to our users. Someone says, I want to translate your iPhone app to Arabic. Great, man, knock yourself out. We thought, great, we're in Arabic. Aren't we awesome? We're so multicultural. On January 25th, when everything was going down in Egypt, like most folks, I was aware something was going on. But then I came into the office, we had 7,000% growth overnight. As Twitter and Facebook had been blocked by the Egyptian government, HootSuite was still able to get social messaging out. So it was a last-ditch place for folks to get their message out, whether they're journalists, protesters, government, the U.S. Embassy in Cairo. We were the only option, which was an incredibly powerful thing for us to see from our office on the downtown east side, to see our tool really creating capital R revolution. And then all of a sudden I start following these tweets and people are sending out desperate pleas for help, trying to keep the outside media involved. Once I saw the tweet that says we're now using flags as bandages, it really was important that we had that tool translated into Arabic at that time because it gave people another conduit to get that information out and really help effectuate change in that country. Over the next year, I hope to release another language each month. This month it will be Polish, next month German, and one by one we're going to knock these languages off the list so everyone is localized for HootSuite in their own language. Well, I'm pretty hard on myself, but all in all I think this went really well. The audience was super engaged. We had a real international audience which gave a real depth to the stories, and I'm feeling pretty good about it because I got a few hugs at the end, and that's a good measurement. The Mashable party, I gotta say, is one of the biggest at South by, if not the biggest. If you're lucky enough to get in there or have a VIP pass, then it's a great place to rub elbows with a lot of interesting people within our industry.
This VIP over there. You already have your badge?
All right, let's get Mashable. Mashable is really a top of the pile social media tech news site started by a guy named Pete Cashmore, who started out of his house in Glasgow and has grown it into a massively influential website that shares social media industry news.
Oh! You've done such a good job on all your promo. Well, I think the social media scene in Vancouver is a burgeoning scene. I think HootSuite is probably one of the leaders there. I think the challenge Vancouver faces, right, is that you need this virtuous circle. And what Silicon Valley was able to get is a lot of people exited and then reinvested. So hopefully, if people like Brian, have a lot of success, they might reinvest all their gains into new startups and start a real ecosystem there. And I think that's what Vancouver needs next, right? It needs a lot of people cashing out and reinvesting in the ecosystem and staying in Vancouver. But why wouldn't you? Because it's one of the best places in the world to live. So.
Well, so far for HootSuite at South by Southwest, we're what, 4 or 5 days in now. And I'm not saying that we took over the coverage, but we're definitely a very integral part of the conversation. People are looking at the things that we've done, and the things I take pride in is they see like they had a unique idea, they're bringing it with heart and soul, and they seem to be everywhere. So for me, that's a huge success because we're connecting with our users on the ground, on the bus, at the house, and really getting to know them, which is exactly the point of this whole thing. I don't think of it in terms of first and second and third place, but let's just say if there was such a thing as first, second, third place, we would absolutely be in that conversation, which to me is a great thrill for me to see us pull that off.
Yes, I am a fan of HootSuite. I've been using it for several years. I talked with Pete Cashmore last night and a couple other folks, and they've said that from their perspective, we just owned it from a brand side. So that's pretty nice, considering we're doing what we've always been doing, guerrilla marketing, using social and community, and really proving that this is the way to do marketing. It's been an amazing year all in all. We've had a ton of successes and added a lot of value over this last year. We have several things on the finances side that I can't disclose right now, but I'd love to share with you at a later point. They're really exciting though, but they definitely are putting us on this fast track to reaching what I think is $1 billion company.
Is there something to that? I attend usually about 2 to 3 meetups once a week. SMLCs, or Social Media Marketing Orange County, it's definitely the one I attend every week. It's a lot of fun. I get to meet a lot of people. Very important to me is how I network, because going to these meetups increases my brand name, increases my name recognition. I get a lot of ideas from them. They got a lot of business ideas. I also meet a lot of people at these events. And sometimes we form partnerships and we do stuff together. I feel that it's actually easier to start now than when I started, simply because back then I had to create all the infrastructure myself. There was no such thing as WordPress. I mean, I started out by just using Microsoft Front Page to write my first website. Right? And there's those things like content management system. There's those things as Twitter. There wasn't Facebook. There wasn't even Google wasn't around yet. Right? But if you look at today, with the amount of tools and infrastructure already in place, most of them are free, and I would say the opportunity is much greater now than when I began. Market saturation, I'm not too worried about. I mean, it's like people asking, how much bigger can Facebook get? 800 million users. Well, there's 6 billion people in this world. I need to check in the Cars and Coffee. And I'm the mayor. Me, Mayor John Chow, Cars and Coffee. Every Saturday, 500 or 600 cars get together on this lot, and no sponsorship, no nothing. They just get together, and old cars, new cars, fast cars, slow cars, vintage, exotics. Everyone is friendly. You can talk to people, do some great networking, because there's a lot of expensive cars here. That means there's a lot of rich people as well. Another sale just came in for those videos. $67. So here you go. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. Let me pull up the stats here. Last time I checked this, I sent about 1,200 people to that site. So that works up to $700 CPM. And if you look at it, and this is why I love this, because when you look at it from running Google ads, you would be lucky if you make $5 per 1,000 page views on a Google ad. But yet I just created this site that just received 1,000 views, and it's making $700 from 1,000 page view, because it just had 2,000 views. I sent 2,000 people to it, and it made $1,400 already. And if this was just a regular blog with just a Google ad, I would make $4. So that's the power of maximizing your blog's income.
Why did I do it? I like his format. I like his beliefs about providing value, thinking if I can make money doing what I want to do, as far as, like he started as a hobby, I'm starting as a hobby and then working it into a business is exactly what I wanted to do.
I recently signed up for his WordPress site. I'm a newbie. I didn't know anything about WordPress, so I've just used the videos to gain knowledge. It's an educational related website that I want to build. Once it is done, I want to make it public and then, make money with it.
Now I'm going to spend about 3 months. I'm going to spend 2 hours a day, about 10 hours a week, maybe 12 hours a week, and that's what I'm going to focus my energy on.
If you want to start a blog, you just sign up for a web hosting platform HostGator, forward me your HostGator information, your HostGator welcome page. I will install WordPress for you. I'll get the blog set up and running. Then I will email you back your new login, and you can start blogging. Now, why I do this is because, well, besides helping someone start a blog, HostGator pays me to do this. So I make money, HostGator gets a new customer, and the new blogger has a new blog, so it's win-win-win. And this is a perfect example of affiliate marketing at its best.
Just highlighting interesting factoids rather than trying to put on.
We found some really staggering differences between Facebook and Twitter users, and in particular between people who are heavy Facebook posters and light Facebook posters, what people in the social media world often refer to as sharers versus lurkers.
I think it's new information. There's been a lot of work done trying to focus on the value of a Facebook fan, but not a lot of people have sort of focused in on what we call the lurkers, the people who are on social media checking their Facebook every day, but they're not actually participating actively or engaging with other people online.
And we expect that when these results from Vision Critical get shared through these infographics by Emily Carr students, there are going to be a lot of companies who have new insights about how to work effectively with social media.
Gave a value statement.
85% are guys. It was.
Thank you. Well, it's nice. It's nice that I think it's nice board can go back to the office and show it to people. So that's great.
We're going in to see the final results of the project. Looking forward to seeing the infographics that the students made for us. Yeah, it's good. It's small form. You focus on just interesting pieces of information, which is really good idea.
Hold on, Katie. Wait, both of you. Give me a sec. Let me take a picture. Photo. I don't get a picture of you with your.
From where they were last time I was here, what was that, 3 weeks ago, to now, massive transformation.
The 80% stack looks a lot smaller than the 83% stack. It is. It's like it takes a lot less of the area, even though in terms of the actual value.
There's some real highlights in the presentation. I was really impressed with a couple of the designs that really took you through the story of the different data, allowed each piece of data to build on the next in a way that somebody either online can scroll through the whole thing, or somebody looking on a paper, they could even just follow it along and get a real good narrative on the data that they were given, and it really turned more from data into a story or deep insights.
That's just unbelievable. Wow. So I had somebody ask me last week, if I'm trying to reach women, I wonder if I should be focusing more on Facebook or Twitter. Well, I know the answer now. It's Facebook, absolutely. And it's really awesome to have access to that data, and I think that's exactly why it's going to be so useful to other people.
The backbone of my blog's monetization model is my mailing list, and my email list provider is Aweber. Aweber also has a fantastic affiliate program. They will give you 30% of the billings of the customer that you refer. So when I refer new bloggers to Aweber, Aweber gives me 30% of the billings. So the first month is $1, so I get 30 cents. But then the next month it goes to $19 and I make $5.70. And if as the list gets bigger, my 30% gets bigger. And this is for life. Right? So over the past 5 years, I refer hundreds and hundreds of other bloggers to Aweber. So I'm making 30% off of these other bloggers. The biggest customer I sent to Aweber, his list has gotten so big now, his bill is over $3,000 per month, and I get 30% of that. And so every month, I'm making over nearly $1,000 off this one account. And to this very day, I don't know who he is. I mean, I love to find out who he is. I mean, I'll go buy him dinner or something, but I don't know who he is. But it's great. If you're looking at dollar figure, I would be, well, in the United States, if we call, I would be in the 1%. All right, so I'm the people those 99% hate. Am I living the dream? Well, I would say, yes, I am living the dream. Never in my wildest dream would I could imagine myself being able to live anywhere I want in the world and make money doing it. During the summer months, we live in Vancouver. During the non-summer months, we live in Orange County, California. The reason for that was because, we love Vancouver. Vancouver's our home, we always will be our home. But during the non-summer months, we just don't like the rain too much. So we want a more warmer climate. My wife and I, well, she tasked me with the job of finding a new place for us to live during the winter and fall. So I narrowed it down to Honolulu, Hawaii, and Orange County, California. Sally, do you think that's an orange or a pumpkin? I decided to move us here to Irvine in California, in Orange County. And one of the big reasons is because, well, the weather is fantastic. But the second big reason is I love cars. And Irvine is the birthplace of cars and coffee. Monetary-wise, it's not that important to me because, once you have enough money, it just becomes a numbers game. I mean, just getting the next $100 million just doesn't mean you win anything. Right? To me, success equates to both time and money. I have money, but more importantly, I have time to spend that money on people and things that I consider really important to me, and that's my family.
I want everyone to give it up for P. Don and Simon and Louisa who organized this.
In some ways, we can celebrate the success that we had on the ground at South by Southwest, but at the same time, we still come into the office and hustle hard and keep growing the business. We still have a long ways to go. But it is nice to see that at South by we really realized a love for the brand and how big of a brand we've become within our industry.
I think since South by we've absolutely been on a tear. We've had a lot of great things come up that we had to celebrate as a company. We closed a big round of financing. We raised $20 million from a group called Omers. Effectively with this round, I think there's two things that are really important out of it. One, I took some money off the table, so I'm personally not incented to take a smaller exit. The second thing is, I think that's really important for the team as well, because now they know that I'm more aligned to swing for the big win. And that to me is important because that is when everybody sees significant upside in this. At $100 million level, that's good for the investors and the founders, but it's not really great for the team. And where it starts to become significant for the team is at the $1 billion level.
Why is social media important to the future of Vancouver? I'm going to try to answer that in 140 characters. Let's start with empowering. Let's talk about something Vancouver's been criticized for: building community. Create social change is a big one. It covers everything from our personal life to our economic and business life to empowering us as citizens and giving us a voice. British Columbia's history is in our natural resources. That's what our economy has been based on. That's where our jobs came from. Our future is digital. People in this film are among the pioneers in social media and certainly among the movers and shakers in social media in Vancouver. They're all part of a new generation, the digital kind of age in BC. It's a very fast-growing part of the economy, and it's led by people like them.